Hi, hi. I'm on a new computer and look how close my face is. Jennifer. The countdown stopped even earlier this time. Hi, friends. How are all of you? Happy New Year. I finally got a desktop computer, and so it's a different angle. And I like it, but it's big. All right. Can you all hear me okay? Everything okay, Jennifer, with hearing me? Yeah. Okay. So many new devices. Good luck, everybody. All right, Minna is joining us. She was getting extra pretty. I see her coming on now, so she's here.
Hi.
Hi. Our countdown ended slightly on the early.
My headphones, and I didn't even get a coffee. Hi, everybody. I have to text my husband. He'll bring me one.
And breakfast without a coffee.
Yes, you all do not worry.
All right. I was just saying that I'm on a new computer. Are you on your new computer?
Yes. I had to get a login. That's what took me so long. It was like, email yourself a login, blah, blah, blah. And it was just like, oh, goodness gracious.
I was like really excited. I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna be on time. We're gonna know how to operate our systems.
2022 is the year. How do I change my microphone again?
Okay, are you on StreamYard? Your settings.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to 2022. This will be exciting.
Can we believe it? Happy New Year. Let us know where you are in the world. What?
Greg's like, nothing's changed with Minna. Tangled cords. I'll tell you.
Her New Year's resolution, everyone, was not to untangle her cords before Bosses and Breakfast.
It certainly was not. I was like, where is it? Oh, you know what? No wonder it kept trying to emergency dial. I'm accidentally pressing that thing. Okay. All right. Should we get onto Instagram?
We sure should. Okay, I'm just titling it.
Okay. Instagram. Where are we at here? Oh, it says Meta.
Have you not been on Instagram this entire time?
I haven't changed accounts. I tried really hard not to be on Instagram too much. It's been I don't know. It doesn't in going through that, does it serve me or do I serve it? And it certainly feels like I serve it. So
100% you serve it.
Yeah. So I'm just like, no, thank you, Marky Mark. Let's not get into the whole Marky Mark thing, but you know what I mean.
Well, we're not on his platform yet, so you can
yes,
talk
we
about
are
Marky
on
Mark.
Facebook.
Oh, we are. I forgot. I thought it was like StreamYard. We're good. We love you. Happy New Year, Marky Mark Zuckerberg. All right, I'm going to go on Instagram. Good morning, Instagram. I hope you can all hear me. I'm on my new earbud too, so we'll see if the tech gods are with us. So Minna's going to join us from the Shop 1 in 5 account. Shop 1 in 5 is our pledge that we're asking all of you to take the pledge to make 1 in 5 of your purchases from a small business online or offline. And then we have 600 businesses right now listed in the small business shopping directory. So if you are looking to shop and support small businesses, head there. Make sure you follow us at Shop 1 in 5 on Instagram as well. More support, the better. And we'd love to, shine lights on all of your businesses and help people discover and shop from your small businesses.
Oh, I forgot about this. Okay. Let me take this down. Good morning, Instagram. Hello. Happy
New Year.
2022. Yeah. Did I say that right?
2022 is an easier number for me to remember now versus from 2021 to 2020. 2021, I just kept saying 2020.
Oh, yeah.
2022, I haven't messed up on it yet. Maybe it's 2022.
No.
Get it?
We just had Visioning Day, though. Yeah, TOO.
Yes, thank you.
Hashtag mom jokes. So we just had Visioning Day with our masterminders, and I was trying to think, what were we doing in January of 2021? I can't even remember. How we're yeah, hey, let's think about 2021, 2022 or 2021 versus 2020, right? So I can remember 2020, the whole timeline, I talked about it, March and everything, but 2021, I'm not even sure, I don't even remember what the holidays look like in 2021. What did I do?
Not 2021, 2020 was the holidays. 2021
No,
was
but
kicking it off.
21 was the what did we do? Is 2021 this holiday? Oh yeah, that was this year. Okay. So okay.
That's why you can't remember. It was just a month ago. No, actually like 5 days ago.
No, okay, the 2020 holiday. What were you all doing,
We were
right?
locked in our houses, Minna.
That's probably why I can't remember because I was like, what did I do? I do remember ordering a pie from Milk Bar. So
Okay. All
that's what
right.
I got to.
We're
That's what I
getting
got
closer.
to.
We're getting closer.
Remember, order the pie.
I was in California. So I was in Palm Desert for Hanukkah and
Oh, that
Thanksgiving.
was
And then
when
I was
okay,
in
see, now I'm thinking
Sacramento.
it's good. I need to know where you are to know where I am.
You were in Iowa.
Okay.
If we're gonna bet on it, you were most likely in Iowa. But
Yeah.
you've traveled a lot in 2021, so that's really
Yeah, I
exciting.
did.
Laura, I'm glad we're amusing you.
It's like if we didn't talk to each other, we'd have no idea what was happening.
Could
And
you
then you
imagine
guys
us
get
as
to
like
witness this in real time. Separately,
old
could you
ladies?
imagine? You know why? It's because our brains have become one and two have become one. We joke about this all the time, but it's like I'm walking around with half a brain. I mean, who can do that? Nobody.
I just
Nobody.
imagine like 89-year-old Jacqueline and Minna.
Oh, that'd be so cute.
Cute. Like, what's your name? Are you Jacqueline or are you Minna? That's what
God, let's hope not.
well, right now you and I sometimes don't recognize our own voices.
Yeah, I know. I
We'll
know.
hear each other and we'll be like, was that me or you? Which, by the
Okay.
way, I grew up in LA as a Valley girl. She grew up in Iowa. So she, I don't know
Yeah,
how we
in the
met in
valley. No,
voices.
it's all plains around here,
It's all,
really.
yeah. So,
Uh-huh.
okay. So let's first talk about, I'm just looking. So Mina, I
Mhm.
have my iPhone now for Instagram right in the middle of my big screen. So I can actually
Mm.
look directly at everybody at the same time. I feel very special over here. Hey,
Oh,
Bree.
I'm not using my new desktop. I'm using my laptop. I got a new laptop, you didn't. That's why there's 2 new computers over here and only 1 over there.
Well, I'm on my desktop, so it's like
Yeah.
amazing.
I
I can
have
see
it's a
everything.
computer lab in here. So I have this laptop set over here, which I can move because it kind of takes me a minute to get over here. Then I have my desktop on a separate desk that I ordered from World Market that came over the holidays. And that is over there, which is easy because I can come in and out really, really easily, which is
So when are you
a
going to use that? That
I
one.
use it all the time, actually. I use that
Mm.
one more so than I do my laptop now. You know, it's more
Yes.
easily accessible and my mouse
And I
is
can
right
see more
there. And I
things.
can leave it really easily before I used to
Mhm.
have to be like, where's my headphones?
Are you all
uh,
desktop or laptop people? Let us know in the
and
comments.
do you use a mouse or do you not use a mouse? Because we're going to start to decipher what age everybody is here because I use a mouse all the time. It's so helpful to me. And I think that if you're like my kids, they I don't know, they use it different. You know how I use mine in a different direction too and all that stuff. So, I think that it's a older millennial Gen X thing.
I don't know. My kids use mice, mouses, Mises.
They're not well, first of all, if you're calling them
You
mice, you do not
you
use them
always
enough.
make fun of me and my kids too, 'cause she's like, "I'm gonna send you the things that the kids are into because you're not into."
They're not in the real world. Except for you let them watch. It's crazy because it's like they don't know what a fidget thingy is. None of the fidgets, like they have no idea, which is insane because everybody they like live under a rock. But they get to watch Fast and Furious. So unless it was in Fast and Furious, they have no idea what it
Not
is.
true. So not true.
So it's like the weirdest thing in my mind, you
Okay.
know?
Anyways. So speaking of weird things, no. Okay, so one thing I wanted to tell all of you really quick, and we had so many of you sign up for this in the last couple weeks, and some of you already students. So let us know how many of you are are in a year of content. So a year of content is our year worth of content for product-based businesses specifically to create content throughout the year for their customers. So it really talks about calendar content. It gives you prompts on how to show like what to speak about live, what to post about, things that matter to your customers. What we always saw was when people came up with content ideas for even people who like create content for product bosses, but they're not product entrepreneurs, they don't understand how to talk about stuff. And we get DMs
Mhm.
all the time from all of you saying, um, what do I talk about? How do I talk about my product? Because we don't see a lot of people in how to do it. And so we have relaunched a year of content. Anyone that's already in it has gotten the 2022 version. If
Go
you,
to your dashboard.
yeah, you have the updated
You have
version.
it.
And then those of you who haven't, because most of you, a lot of you are probably in it, but if you haven't, because we sent this out in the email, you can head to ayearofcontent.com. It's only $37. And it is an incredible tool, and you get the updates every year. So you don't have to worry. You invest in it once, and it's not a course where you're like, I have to work through this and it's going to take me a while. I need to dedicate time. Rather, it's a tool for you to reference, right?
Yeah.
So you can just go to it and say, okay, I feel like I need to post something today, or I want to write an email. What could I talk about that matters to my customers without sounding salesy? So head to your content if you need help with content. Who needs help
Yeah.
with content?
Everybody, right? Because even like the people that are even fantastic at content, sometimes you just do not want to bog down your brain with what you should be talking about. So it just is really helpful because it gives you prompts of, you know, what you don't even have to think about. So the decision fatigue is real, you know. So best $37 you can ever spend, in my opinion.
I mean, I spent $37 on this oat milk latte this morning. So
Lord knows that's the truth, you know.
probably over the
Half a
last 5
pump of
days.
something.
But we want to make it super
Yeah.
accessible because we know that like visibility is probably one of the hardest things for all of you. How many of you believe if you could get
And
more eyes?
consistency.
Do you believe if you could get more eyes on your business that you would make more sales? Like if just more people knew about your business, then more people would buy from you? Anyone? Yes. In the comments. A year of content is, and people are saying thank you for updating it. Of course. It is something that
Mhm,
is just a tool for all of you to use and go back to. And like if you just feel stuck, but you need to send something. Yeah, Laura says yes. E-Beauty Collection
mhm,
says yes. Carolyn says
right.
yes.
And here's the thing that everybody who said yes, and we know it's all of you because we could all use more eyes in your business, is going to take you talking about it. You know, so it's not like this magic thing that's like, hey, do this, buy this, be in this. You have to consistently talk about it. That's what the magic of a year of content is that it helps you to talk about your product, or
Hmm.
nobody knows what you're selling. Right.
Hmm.
So if you want more eyeballs in your business, you get really good at talking about your products over and over, over and over in different ways, in
Hmm.
educational ways, in useful ways, in funny ways, even, or in uh teaching ways like behind the scenes or tutorials or whatever it is, because otherwise how are you going to get more eyes? It can't just be like, I bought year of content, now I have more eyes. You actually need to talk about it in certain
Hmm.
ways, and it's a practice.
Yeah. So from some of you, those of you that are, you're like, I go live and I get more sales and stuff like that. 100%. We have Suzanne. I think she just joined from Three Best Bakery. She's a multi-stream machine student, and she's also now a masterminder. But she has grown in like the last 30 days to 66,000 followers on TikTok. She's
Yeah.
tried it. She will post her reels on Instagram and it is like, meow. But then she'll go on TikTok and she's like skyrocketing, and she's going live and she's selling her
Mhm.
cookies and her baked goods live.
Okay.
What?
Don't mind me. My button back here is not on, but you guys can't see it. It's fine. As I'm like buttoning it
Suzanne
in
saying
real
it's
time.
bananas. I see some people are getting a year content. But the cool thing is like I know it's scary to go live. We're live with you right now. We're
Yeah, and
streaming
you
in
don't
all
have
different
to go
places.
live either in the beginning at
Yeah.
all.
But let's just say you were like, I want to go live. I want to
Mhm.
test that. That's a resolution for this year. I'm going to try and show up and do more video. Yeah, Three Best Bakery says I get sales every time I go live over there. Let's
Yep.
say you go live, but you're like, I don't know what to talk about. Right. Like I want to try and go live, but I don't know what to talk about. Well, a year of content says like, let me see if I have an example prompt
Yeah.
for you guys. But
And for
one of
all
them
of
is
you
like,
that are like, this is not just meant for lives, it's meant for everything. Like what you talk about, you could be talking about the same things in emails, on your social posts, like stories, or, the actual post. This is just an example of a live. So don't feel like it's meant for lives only.
no, yeah, but I'm giving you an example because she
Hmm.
someone in the comment says that they go live and they do it. And so for example, it could be something like, should I do one of my versions? Okay. So
Hmm.
I sell water bottles. I don't really, but let's pretend I do. And I might show up and be like, hey, so this is the pink, how many ounces? I have no idea. This is hi, I'm the owner of Hydromate. And this is, our water bottle. This is our number one selling color. People love this because, XYZ. And like, this is the way, and did you know that you should hydrate yourself with, X amount of water a day? If you're interested, make sure to to our link in bio or go to hydramate.com. So it gives you prompts, and it's like, it might say like, talk about the features of your bestseller, or talk about your 3 bestsellers, or talk about um Valentine's Day, gifts for, mom, gifts for dad, gifts for your husband, gifts for your pet. So it's really very helpful as a tool.
Yeah, it's super helpful. And also, even just having those prompts, but brevity is key. Like people's attention span is so low right now. So even if you went live for 5 minutes, or like I said, you can go on Instagram stories for 15 seconds, or you have a post that you post up there. It doesn't have to be a long thing
Yeah.
by any means, where you have to like narrate a whole entire thing, or even that you have to go live. Because there, I think it's, I think that you start building that muscle, you know? And it's not about longevity in social media. It's about quick touch points, so you just have to keep talking about it.
Yeah, and live true healing over here says all my sales are done in lives. It increased my revenue to multi-six. So what Mina's trying to get across is like, you don't have to go live, but that's an option to create a reel. And you're thinking, well, what should the caption be on my reel or my TikTok? It could
Mhm.
be like Suzanne decorates her sugar cookies, but it could also be easily that then in the caption talks about her bestseller, which might be prompted by one of the content prompts in a year of content. So anyways, a year of content, go grab it. It's a great time to get it, and you always get the updates. So it's just
Mhm.
really worth that $37.
Yeah. I mean, year over year, I think some people have probably had it from the very beginning, and we keep
Mhm.
updating it.
Are you getting your coffee served?
Yeah. Thanks, babe. Yes, I
Make
sure
sure it's
am.
hot.
This isn't hot enough. Return it. Just kidding. Thanks, babe.
He's like, who are you?
And then when I texted him, I was like, please bring me a coffee because I um did not have time to grab one. And he's like, yes, boss.
You're like, yeah, you're correct. It's in my business name. Okay. So here's what we want to talk about today, my friends. Um, it's the beginning of a new year. And at the beginning of a new year, we all have these big resolutions and these big goals. We had a meeting yesterday with our masterminders who they get these $1 million boot camps with us every beginning of the quarter. And we kicked off with visioning, and we talked about where do they want to be 12 months from now, right? We talked about what their good, better, best goals were financially. We talked about all of these things to kind of future plan and future, you know, and all that. And they're very successful businesses. But even these successful businesses, 250,000, 500, 750,000, $1 million businesses are also, we might look at them and say they're very successful, but they're afraid of success. People who are
Mhm.
not at those revenue levels are afraid of success. And there's a lot of reasons why people are afraid of success. So, what we want to talk about today is to be honest, are you afraid of success? Okay, because
Yeah.
this is what's going to hold us up starting a new year, where it's like, I have these big dreams, I have these big goals, but your mind gets in the way. You're like, oh, but if I do this,
I think the
and then,
excuses are built in too. Like, fun
mhm.
facts for all of you and for Jacqueline. Did you know that the second week of January is known as National Quitters Day? January
Ooh,
19th for 2022. It's the day that most likely, let me read it. I
mhm.
Googled it too because I knew it was a thing, but I want to see how they describe it. The second Friday in January is known as Quitters Day, as it is most likely the day for people to give up their New Year's resolutions. So,
Not the 15th of
nationally,
January.
yeah, not the 15th of January. It's 2 weeks in, so this year is the
Okay.
19th, right?
Okay.
And, so that it's like it's already built in and as a society. You make the resolutions, you quit on National Quit Day. But here's the thing, there's going to be a subset of those people that don't quit. We want you to be part of those. So, when we ask you the question, are you afraid of success? You know, it is actually a really common thing. Like I know for me, it feels like I never realized that was a thing until I started working with more and more people, tens of thousands of people. Then I was like, this is really common, actually. So don't think that you're alone in it. And I think that the society feeds into it a little bit too, because it's like almost like, oh, partake in this National Quitters Day. And we're like, no, no, do not partake in that day. There's nothing to be afraid of. Get past it, you know?
Mhm. So resolutions are resolutions, and I actually decided this year for me not to set a resolution. I don't know if you would like to share your resolutions in the comments. We'd love to see them. I decided this year that I wasn't going to set a specific resolution because I am constantly in a state of improvement. I'm constantly working on myself. I'm constantly trying to get better. So the calendar year is not the thing that I'm like, oh, now I'm going to work out more. I've been incorporating that at different times in my life. But my overall feeling of this year, the things I want to do in my life, that's sort of what I set for the year for myself. But what we want to get to, though, as you're kind of going to this, is that are you afraid of success? Right. So the success could be business success. The success could be losing weight. The success could be taking time off. Right. Because people sometimes, when they think
Getting
about,
healthier.
yeah, because it takes work, it takes commitment, it takes consistency. And it's fearful because a lot of times we are more comfortable in our own, what's the word? Not like misery, but like it's comfortable to
Oh,
stay
we're
as you are.
comfortable. We're comfortable in it being
Com-
comfortable because
yeah.
even like when you think about the way we are built naturally, like as cavemen and women, we were built to survive. So anytime there's some sort of discomfort, we don't like it, right? We like
Mhm.
to be comfortable because discomfort means you're probably going to die or something, right? So we've been trained in our brains and in our bodies to not push to be uncomfortable, you know? And then
Mhm.
there's some people that are just have harder lives. Like, like this is something that I get concerned about my kids. They have such easy lives. And I had such a, like I had to really claw my way. Like, are they ever going to be
Says
resilient
every parent ever.
yeah, I
I
think
used
every
to
parent
hike
ever.
5 miles in the snow to get to
Yeah.
school.
So I love what you said because I wrote down some things. So it takes commitment, it takes consistency. But the first part of it also takes like a mental shift, you know? So when we're talking about all this, like even Jacqueline saying, I'm not going to do a resolution this year. I am going to do an overall feeling, right? So believe it or not a lot of people even sit down to reflect. Like, what is my conscious thing that I'm going to do? They don't set their intention. They might be like, oh, okay, I'm going to lose weight. But okay, that seems like a very like, or, get healthy, lose weight, whatever it is, that you want to do. But what is it that you actually have to do if you really commit to it?
Well,
Well,
listen to Maureen. Maureen said, "I'm not afraid of losing weight. I'm afraid of being hungry while I do it." It's true
truth, truth.
because it's uncomfortable. My
To
husband
be
used to say, "Go to bed hungry." I was like, "What do you mean go to bed hungry?"
yeah.
You know? Like it's
And even
uncomfortable.
oh, I love that because, one of the things that I saw was that we've been trained as kids to clean our plates. But
Mhm.
it's actually not healthy all the time to clean your plate. You should stop actually before your plate is clean. And I was like, "What?
Who?
Huh? What
Especially a Jewish and Asian
what are
family
you
where it's, like,
saying?"
offensive if you don't eat all the food,
Yeah,
right?
right? You eat to show respect in a way, you
Mhm.
know? And so, yeah, I was just like, so to show commitment, like let's say you wanted to lose weight, you would bear the hunger, you would have a meal plan, you would have some sort of commitment, you could hire a professional, you'd set out your goals,
It's
you'd
like you
be
know my life
consistent
since
with
last
it.
June.
Yeah. So even like for our team, we actually put like our overall feel, and I was like, I want to feel healthier. So mind, body, all that stuff, but I'm choosing consistency over intensity. So me even consciously choosing consistency over intensity, because I know that for me, my body prefers consistency over intensity. Like I don't like high impact things, especially, old lady joints and things like that over here. So that's what I'm consciously choosing. So, as I said, there's a mental shift that you have to do in the planning that happens, and then a commitment and the consistency that happens. It's way more than just a resolution, right? It's like a plan to get to that idea of success. So, I would set my goal of the idea of success for whatever it was that I was doing. Like, let's say it was to lose weight or something. And then I would work my way backwards and set a plan against it,
Mhm.
in the time allotted that I give myself. So that's some of what we're going to be talking about is a little bit of time and money. And, if you have a goal for your business and you have, do you have the time allotted that will get you there,
Mhm.
and the
So
money that will get you there?
So since we're talking about food and dieting, because that's a big, and this is a business podcast, we will get to the business part of all of this. But for example, I've had a lot of health challenges over the last 3 years. There's just been and food challenges and food allergies and things that I didn't know because back in 2019, 20 no, actually it's 2020, I was dealing with some health issues. So I really had to look at my food and I tried all these things and I hired holistic people and I hired all these different people to try different things and I did tests and all the stuff. Well, in June, I decided to hire a nutritionist who will be on the podcast eventually because he has a product based business that's food. He's a really high profile nutritionist. And the reason I did it was because all of the other things I did on my own were not working. And also, there is a fear of losing weight because a fear of losing weight, like we said, goes into discomfort, right? Well, what if I'll
Mhm.
be hungry? Maybe it won't work. Like I've tried all these other
Will
things
I
and I,
feel different,
yeah.
right?
Will it for me, it was always like, will it work? And I've tried all these other things and I haven't gotten to where I wanted to be, like in terms of weight. Okay. And I say this because it was a health thing. I started it as a health journey, based on like the problems I was having. So, but I've been working with him since June, lost like 20 pounds. And he has me eating all the time. I eat 6 meals a day. He's like, you're going to feel like it's too much food to eat. That's why you always see me
Mhm.
with these waters. I have to drink like half my body weight in water a day. Um,
Mhm.
and it took a long time where I was like, it's never going to work. It's never going to work. I felt stagnated. I felt like I plateaued. But because I meet with him once every like 10 days, he will change things up for me, right? He'll change things and I'll start to get really dismayed. But then he's like, look, like you could be on one side of this where you think it's just never going to work. It's not possible. Or you can go to the other side that says, if I just stay consistent with it, it will eventually work. And I
Mhm.
think, and it is working. And, the holidays are a whole other thing, but it's working. So for all of you, if we're going to talk about business, the fear of success in business, and I've seen people write this in the comments, but tell me if this feels true to you as well. If I get successful, my business is going to be too big. I won't be able to handle it. I won't be able to keep up. I'm not going to have enough time in my day. I'm going to get buried in the work. I
Mhm.
can't possibly make more things. I can't possibly fulfill more things because right now you probably feel like you don't have enough time in the day to do all the things or to get balanced or to feel like you can juggle all the things like in any sort of good sort of way. And so a
Yeah.
lot of times we stop it because we can't see that path forward and we think it's always going to look the way that it looks right now. It could never be different. Does
Yeah.
that resonate?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're scared of the uncertainty because even that idea of success, we have no idea what that feels like, right? And it feels so scary to be in a place that you have no idea about, but you have these, you think that it looks a certain way. So you haven't, so there's some people that, for example, I don't want that successful business because that means I have to have a big team. That's an example. But that simply is not true. We're talking your version of success. So if you don't want a big team, you can still be successful. And we've seen people make, $15 million with a team of like three people. Three people. So people do it in their own different way. They get to their own path. Everybody has their own path. But believe me, when I hear people say, I hear it all the time, I don't want to be successful because I don't even want the $1 million because that means I have to have a big team, or that means I have to be working all the time, or that means I have to make everything myself. And I will say that is not true in any of those scenarios.
So let me ask you all a question. If we said that it's never going to be 100% easy, but if we said you could be successful, I'm going to throw the $1 million out there because I want you to dream big because I had never dreamt of $1 million business. I'd always wanted a six-figure business when I had started my business, but I want to get us into that $1 million mindset. So if we said it was possible for you to have $1 million business, but your life would be more aligned with the way that you want it to be, you'd have more time doing the things you want. You would have more time with the people you love. You'd have more time to vacation. You wouldn't be stuck at your desk or in your warehouse or making or doing something. Would you say no? Would you say no, I don't want that million? Like, or would you say yes, I would want $1 million a year revenue business if it felt like it would feel different than I feel like it feels today? Does that make sense? how I said it?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think it's an alignment thing, right? So a lot of times people, the reason why they pull back from that $1 million thing is not only is it fear of success, but it's also like money mindset that
Mhm,
people have their own versions of what they think about money too. So like a million for them, they might be like, "Oh, I can't make that means I'm greedy," or that means, money is rooted in evil, or that means this and that. So there's a whole nother set of we're open up a whole nother can of worms when we think about that the success being a certain way, like the $1 million, right? But what I'm saying is that all of this that we're saying, all of these things are mental limiting blocks that you have to sit down and think about what your actual goals are, your version of success, or your version of, do you want $1 million, or your version of whatever it is. And then you commit to it and you stick with it with consistency and reinvestment. So, a lot of times, the reason why people quit is because they get discouraged and they're not sure if they should reinvest again, or they're not sure if they have what it takes, or they're not sure if they should keep going. And a lot of it, and they don't believe in themselves enough.
mhm,
Or their family gets them really discouraged. Like some people are like, "Oh, you haven't made $1 million yet?" Well, no, I haven't made $1 million yet. And it gets you like really like you have all these feelings around it.
mhm.
So getting the right people around you, getting the right support. But I will tell you at the root of this is a mental thing. It is your mind.
Because I'm seeing in the comments, someone's like, "It feels like it would come with so much pressure," or someone else
Mhm.
said, "$1 million business is scary. I feel like I would lose control, that I will have too many of the wrong people involved, and it would fail." So I'm going to go back to the diet thing again, beginning of the year, my journey that I've been on.
Mhm.
So when I sat down with that nutritionist, by the way, I guess I'll just tell you all, he's the nutritionist to the Kardashians. He's the nutritionist to all of the Avengers, to our Dick Cheney, like to Christian Bale. Okay, like this is like I'm not messing around with who I'm
Random
going to.
Dick Cheney.
You know why? Because he had to help Dick Cheney lose weight and then helped Christian Bale gain weight to play Dick Cheney on TV. That was a story he shared with me.
Oh.
I'm sharing with all of
Mhm.
you here. So he's a big time nutritionist, and I'm paying a lot of money to go to this person, but that's because my health is ultimately the most important thing to me.
Your health is your wealth.
Right. Because it doesn't matter. The money doesn't matter if you're not well. So I say this because when I sat down with him in his office and he told me how much he wanted me to lose, and I was like, I haven't been that weight and since I was in high school. There's no possible way I will get there. I have no idea. And he's like, well, I'm going to have you have a shake and you're going to have all these snacks. And then you're going to eat this for lunch. And then you're going to have these snacks and you're going to eat 40 minutes before you go to bed. All the things he told me to eat. In my head, I would have, like, when I was trying to figure it out on my own, I couldn't figure it out on my own. I was vegan. I couldn't figure it out on my own. And he tells me this, and I'm still thinking, like, okay, all right, I just have to trust him. He's my coach in nutrition. So I had to trust him and go by his thing. And lost a couple pounds in the first week and whatever. I mean, cut to a few months later, and it's a lot. But I say that because you don't need to know how you're going to get there. You just need to follow steps. You just need to take that first step. Because you
Mhm.
telling me I'd be back at my high school weight, which I'm not there yet, but if I was, I'm like, never, never in my life,
But
I've
you
never.
but in the very beginning, so even taking that back a little bit, you would have to be aligned with him on what your idea of what that goal was. So
Right.
high school weight, let's just say that, right? So if you were someone who is like, "Oh, I actually don't want to be high school weight, and if I'm high school weight, that means I will have these other health problems, and I will, because I'll have all this pressure of maintaining that weight, and I have to buy a whole new wardrobe, and I have to have team members be my stylists, and I
I mean, this
have
doesn't
to."
sound like a horrible lifestyle that you're telling me
I
here right
know,
now.
but like, I'm saying, like, the goal has to be aligned. So even when you say
Right.
$1 million, it feels different. That feels scary and lots
But
of pressure. This seems fancy and
But what
nice, you know?
what you're saying
Yeah.
though is that, for
Uh-huh.
example, if he was like, "I'm gonna get you to your high school weight, and you have to do this in the next 3 months, and you have to do X, Y, Z," and it felt uncomfortable and it was already uncomfortable, but it felt undoable and not manageable where I would quit by the 17th of January. That's
Mhm.
not how he operates. He operates slowly. It's long term. It's changing. Even like the diet he gave me was a slow version into it. It was like the first thing he told me to do was drink more water. That was it. That was my first job. It wasn't like drink more water, don't eat carbs, don't eat after, it was just drink more water because he understands the human mindset and that you need to ease into this journey. And so for all of you in business, it's right now, it's just that idea of, okay, there's a potential that I could be successful, more successful
Pull
because
the
you're all,
lid off.
yeah, that you have the potential. You dream bigger. You don't need to know every single thing you're going to do to get there. You don't need to do this in the next 6 months or a year. It could be in 5 years. It could be in 10 years. It could be totally different, but that you could do it in your own time, but know that you could get there and know that this doesn't have to be something that's overwhelming or that you won't be equipped to handle on your journey because you will. You will get the tools. You will learn the things. You will learn how to manage team members if that's what you want to do. If it's a handmade business, you'll figure out how to keep it handmade and to let your people know. Because I think Alfred was saying our people want it to be my two hands. Yes and no.
Mhm.
We work with a lot of makers and it's no longer their two hands and they are highly successful. It's handmade. It's just not the actual owner's two hands.
Yeah. Right. And I think that it's sitting down. So in the beginning, you sit down, you know what your goal is. So high school weight, $1 million business, let's just say $500,000 business, right? But either way, you have to work your way backwards. But the first step of that is allowing yourself to even sit down and think of that, sit down and want to do that because you have to want it. And you have to even think of it, or there's no even way that you would even dream it, think it, say it, want it, take the steps forward. So you're not, so when you're taking steps forward and you haven't thought about where you're going, you're literally in a way aimlessly wandering. So there are people that, for example, like I want to grow my business. Okay. But let's say you said, I want to grow my business to $100,000 business. Okay. $100,000 business. Let's work your way backwards from there. So at least you're positioned in a certain way so you can pivot, and go in a certain way. Because lots of times you're like spinning up and down, going up, like a roller coaster is entrepreneurship, but at least you know where you're headed. It gets you in the right direction. But if you don't have any sort of target, you scared of your target, if you are fearful of how you might change, you have mental blocks around whatever that target is, you innately don't even want that target, right? Then you'll never get to that target, right? So I think, sitting down, understanding what your target is, your version of success, your idea of success, and sitting down for real. Like Jacqueline and I hear so many things of people being like, I don't want this because of this. But that's not true. Sit down and for real and think about like, is that true? Are the things that I think that I want really what I want or don't want? Because maybe that's just a limiting belief that you have for yourself. I don't want $1 million business because it has pressure against it, or it means I have to have a team. Well, I think that we all need to think about like, okay, is that true? Okay, well, do some research, ask around, think about the things that you want to do, look at other businesses, listen to the podcast, get into the community, all that kind of stuff, and figure out what your version of a success is, and then do it. Commit to it. Be consistent. Reinvest in yourself, and over and over and over, and be that person before you like how to be that person that's in that target before you even get there. So lots of times, unless you like sit down or like, okay, I want to be $1 million business. Well, what does that person that owns $1 million business do? Well, they certainly do a lot of different things. So that's why I say work your way backwards, but you have to kind of like get there before you're ready. They hire the right people. They hire fulfillment teams, and if they don't want a big team or whatever it is, they have meetings with only leadership team, whatever it looks like. So you're getting there and working your way backwards, right? And you're stepping into it and being consistent about it. So I hope that made sense in the way that I was
Yeah.
phrasing it.
Because, for example, Jeff Bezos, some of you may know him, wealthiest man
Hmm.
in the world, right? When he
Mhm.
concepted the idea of selling books online, right? He said, "Okay, we're going to avoid the bookstore. We're going to sell books directly to customers with this online platform." We all know where it's gone now. Do you think Jeff Bezos thought I'm going to be fulfilled? Like, I want to grow it. And he had this big dream, but he's like, but I will be sending out every single book. No. Do you think he's right now fulfilling your orders? No. He's living his best life and going to space. All right. So, it's true.
It's true.
But what you all don't realize is that money, success, the opportunity to create revenue, to create wealth in your lives is actually the thing that's going to allow for you to have more opportunities to live a life more similarly aligned to what you dream of. So, what that means for all of you is that you can't see it now. I Mina and I couldn't see it till in 2018. I made this declaration in front of 50 people, and I was like, I think we could be $1 million business for the product boss, right? I was like, I think we can. It just took that one thought. Did I know how? Absolutely not. We didn't even have a course. We only sold masterminds and we had a podcast. No idea how we would
Mhm.
do it, but I just allowed myself to dream bigger, to think we could be successful. And my friends, $1 million was as high as I could get in my head.
Yeah.
Okay, like, it was the highest I could get, and it was an audacious statement. Do Mina and I work a lot? We do. We do. But and there's a lot of us, you will work a lot. You will work a lot growing. But what you'll
Until
realize is
you don't, you know?
the more revenue you make, the more you will be able to afford to outsource the things you don't want to do. And we get you closer to the things that you do want to do. Meaning, if you are a maker, you may want to make the first initial piece of something, your creative soul as a designer, like you want to do that very first thing. And then you train your team of makers because now you can employ other makers that are not entrepreneurs like you, but rather they're trained as artists, they're painters, they're woodworkers, they make metal, whatever that they do. Now you're able to offer them jobs within their own talents. Because think about all the people, I went to art school. It's not like, but if you just go to art school as a painter, are you
Mhm.
hired by people? Not typically. Like, you're just trying to sell your art and be like that starving artist mentality. But you're actually able to employ other makers while you live in your entrepreneur life. So and we're doing that right now. We have someone who does custom pet portraits, and she is working on, this is her hand. She is working on training people in her aesthetic to take over and start painting in her style. Can you believe that? Like, someone who does one of a kind pet paintings can actually grow this business, employ other artists, and that she can then do the things she wants to do. So you all have to just realize that what you imagine, the stories you're making up in your head right now about success are not true. And you get to choose, what life do I want? And if I'm able to
Mhm.
scale this on my own timeline, I will have the tools to be able to step out of the things I don't want to do and step into the things I do want to do, and allow for more room in my schedule and my time in my day to be with the people I love, to have the experiences I want. You can do
Mhm.
this.
So, I wanna hear from the people that are in multi-stream machine. So there's a lot of students. I see Alfred, I see Laura, I see Maureen. I see a lot of people that are in multi-stream machine. What is your goal? We're giving the example of a million, but I think that a million is our version of like a blanket one where it encompasses a lot of people. So that way we can really pull it off. It feels audacious, it feels big, it feels exciting and scary and all those things. I would like to know for the people that are multi-stream machines, since we have a lot of students, what is your goal? What is your goal? Is it 250? Is it 100,000? Is it 500,000? Let us know. Okay, so Rebecca says six figure this
A lot of
year.
people are saying six figures for this year. 100,000 for this year? 60 a year?
60,000. Amanda Lee says 150 and she wants to throw up. That's awesome. We want you to feel like throwing up. Um, Susan says 200,000. Somebody else says 100,000. So a 250 for Allie. Somebody says 150. Okay. So that's wonderful, right? So I have a secondary question. For all the people that were in multi-stream machine and more, how many of you are the exact same person that you were a year ago?
Like, before you signed up for multi-stream machine, and then after, even. Do you want a year or before
I
MSM and
do.
now?
I'm kind of
You want
going
the
somewhere
year.
here.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, I
So a
interrupted.
year
Ignore me.
ago, how many of you are the same person? Nobody, right? Nope, not even close. Do you even recognize that person that you were? Not even close, I bet. So what Jacqueline is trying to get to is that you don't need to know the steps, because guess what? You naturally evolve just like your business does. You won't even be the same person that you are now than when you are at 100,000. It just will not, you will not even recognize that person. Do you know, like, if I was a year ago, 20, okay, let me think, 2021, a year ago, I would not even picture myself here as this person, because I don't know how I'm going to evolve. I don't know how my business is going to evolve. Not really, right? I don't know what mental blocks I was able to lift or how much I was able to expand my mind, but I knew that I wanted to make a certain amount of revenue, and I just trusted myself, the people that I hired, and my beliefs and everything. I just worked at it. I chipped away at it, and I evolved as a person. And now when I look back, I'm like, who was that Mina? She was so young and naive and beautiful and gorgeous. No, just kidding.
Her memory might have been better a year ago.
No, I'm kidding, but you get the idea, right? Like, you think back and you're like, oh my gosh, I have just evolved, and just I've grown up so much, you know? And so I want you to all to think about that, right? So what you at that $100,000 level, you at that 250, we had people, saying 50,000, 60,000 as well. You as that person will just look completely different. You will not need to know how you're getting there.
When you set your resolutions for 2021, when you set your resolutions for 2020, you had that and you set it and you continued with your life. And you all grew in some way, personal, with your relationships, in your business. Everything shifted and changed. And you are where you are now. And maybe you're slightly more overwhelmed because, maybe you are having orders roll in and you're like, okay, I need to make a change. Like someone said, she's in a small apartment and her business has finally hit six figures. And she's like, maybe she feels uncomfortable making that change because we kind of get stuck, but she's there now and she has this opportunity to make a different change. So whenever you're afraid of success, right, you're thinking, and we're going to talk business because we're your business coaches, right? We're online here talking to you about business. When you start to get to psych yourself out about success and whatever that means for you, let yourself know, I do not need to know the steps there. I just need to create that target, and I will have the tools. I will learn the things. I will adapt and I will grow. Because my friends, we went through a global pandemic where we were all in lockdown, everywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When that started, we had no idea how we would be in our houses for that long with those
But
people.
even beyond that, like, or even like, so there's some people that have not changed at all since the beginning of this pandemic. We went through a lot, but
I'm sure they've changed.
they did not develop their mindsets at all. So, for example, when you look back at your old self, the people that changed the most were the ones that really worked on their mindsets. They, like Greg said, so much more growth than just that. It was the beginning of my mindset change. So there are some people that just think that's not for me, that's for somebody else. Or I've always done it this way. I could never see it any other way. Or I've never believed in myself or invested in myself. I just couldn't,
But you and I want to go back to the pandemic because we were like, we had a big goal for ourselves and we're like, we're not going to hit it. Like, there's no way. The world is shut down. We're locked in our houses. We
Mm-hmm.
did in 10 months. We had no idea when we got shut down. When we all got
Mm-hmm.
shut down and we were in our houses, we're like, I remember like freaking out and being like, how could I be here for 3 months? I mean, then you get to like sixth, seventh month, and I was fully comfortable never leaving my house again. Right. None of us knew how we were going to get through it. This is how I feel about childbirth also, right? But then you
Mm-hmm.
get through it and you go, I am stronger and I am more capable than I ever imagined I was. None of us were prepared, but we did it. And so many of you grew businesses in that time and made more
Yeah.
money than you ever expected to make with the
A lot of
world
people
shutting
made
down.
investments in themselves. A lot of people worked on their mindset. I mean, there's some people that literally just hunkered down and did nothing. Okay.
As Annika says, I remember thinking that I wasn't allowed to sell during lockdown, and then she changed her mindset about
Yeah,
that.
right, right. So there's some people that didn't change their mindset, or that they look back at themselves and it was just like their environment changed, but they internally did not change. Their limitations on their brain, or their dreams that they have for themselves, or they were just like, I'll just wait to make my targets, in 2022 when this pandemic's going to be over. Like, literally, people probably thought that, right? Like, I'll wait till this is over. you know? So really thinking back of it really starts with, you thinking about your own mindset limitations, setting that target and investing in that target and taking the steps and actions ahead. Because all of you people that are here with us today, a lot of you are students in multi-stream machine. You bought multi-stream machine, right? So you took the necessary steps to make a commitment and to be consistent with it. You now have the tools. And so I think that, we as coaches can certainly lift those limiting beliefs for you as much as we can, but it will take you. It will take each other too, because a lot of our masterminders, a lot of our multi-stream machine students in the community, they lift it for each other. They kind of like reinforce our messaging of, like, the $1 million, I'm just using $1 million as just an example because it feels, like Jacqueline said, very audacious. Like it feels like, like once you lift that up, I mean, the sky's the limit,
Mhm.
it's possible.
So I want to kind of wrap this part. I want to get into good, better, best goals before we end, but I want to ask this question again that we started it with. Be honest, my friends. Are you afraid of success? So after us yelling into this microphone for the last however long, do you feel do you still feel afraid of it? Or are you starting to kind of like loosen around this? Are you starting to kind of
Less
take the rough
afraid.
edges off? Yeah, like the sharp edges are kind of starting to fade a little and you're like, okay, all right, I can get there. And it's okay
Right.
if you still are afraid of
I
success.
mean,
It's only been 30 minutes.
afraid of success and it feeling scary are two different things. It should feel a little bit scary,
Mhm.
but not afraid where you're like, just no, no, thank you.
Never gonna happen, can't do
Yeah.
it, won't do it. There's no possible way I can do it. Those are the thoughts we want you to let go of. There's no possible way. I can't see myself doing it. I'll get drowned in orders.
Hmm.
I can't. I don't have enough time. I'm a certain age and there's no way I have the years to do it. It's not true. These are limiting beliefs that you're putting in your own brains. What if we just softened it a bit? What if it was like,
Hmm.
someone said I'm 71 years old and I don't have enough time to do it? I will tell you that we've worked with people that are in um, 60s and 70s that have started businesses and have been successful because they want their creative outlet. So what if we said, instead of you saying I'm 71 years old
Post
and
retirement.
I don't have enough time to do it, what if instead you said to yourself, I'm still alive. I'm smart and I'm capable. Let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens. Don't put the pressure on it. Just think, let's see what happens. I'm going to try this. What's the worst that's going to happen? You fail? The business goes under? You can't keep doing it? Cool. At least you tried. At least you followed a dream. These dreams pursued are more important than the things that you just squashed because your brain
Okay,
is getting in the way.
what's the worst that can let's say that does happen, but let's see what you've gained in that. So let's say the
Mhm.
business goes under, you lose money, but you've also gained knowledge, you've become a different person, you've learned about your capabilities, there's always something to be gained, you know? So maybe that business, let's say it does go under, like what Jacqueline said, it goes under, whatever. It probably was not the business for you or the season that it was in, but you still can take a step forward. So I don't want you to be all afraid of like, okay, that's worst case scenario, but is that the worst case scenario? Because you still have gained something too. We've all failed in our lives. We've all failed in our lives, but we've
Uh,
all moved forward too.
Yeah. You need to fail to find the way forward, right? Something has to break. Something has to not work for you to be inventive in your lives. Whether there's a loss in your life, whatever it is, we reinvent ourselves and
Yeah.
that's part of the human experience. So let go of find your worst case scenario, right? Go there, figure out like what that is, and then talk to yourself about it and say, but is it? Like, is it? Who cares what other people think? I know
Yeah.
you may really care what other
And then I
people
love
think.
what J underscore forevermore says. And then ask yourself after that, what if it does work?
I like
What if
that.
it does work? Right. So, like, I know like right now it's worst case scenario because we're in a global pandemic, all those things. But that's worst case scenario. You still have to flip it. Otherwise, you will be paralyzed by it. You know, if that's the worst case scenario, you still gain something. I mean, why not? But what if it does work? What if
Listen
it
what
does work?
Suzanne Solomon said. My granddad started a brand new business at 70, nothing to do with his career. It was a success, and the business was eventually sold by his daughter, and the product he sold is now still sold internationally. That's a
That's
legacy.
amazing.
And what if it's not that, right? What if you start something and because a lot of us like want to go back to our hobbies, like one day I will paint again, like that was a hobby. So what if at some point in my life I had more time and I decided to paint and let's say I was 75 and I was like, okay, now I'm going to paint. And then people started telling me like, oh, I like what you're painting. And I was like, oh, I wonder if I could sell these paintings. And then I sold them and it like that extra money went to, I don't know, gifts for the grandkids or, one trip a year or whatever it is, right? You can choose to make your business fulfill a part of your life that you want it to fulfill. It doesn't have to be everything. It could be something that you want to splurge on or spend on or something like that. So just stay positive in these thoughts. So, Mina, I think to conclude what I want since it's the beginning of the year is us to all set together, the people that are listening and those of you listening when you hear this on the podcast, is a good, better, best goal. So that is your goal of revenue for the year. So a good goal is typically what you did the year before. So your total revenue for 2021, what that is, can you repeat that? Can you make it a repeatable year? Your better goal is something that pushes, something that changes, right? So sometimes we'll say
Like a
like it's,
growth.
yeah, maybe it's like what, one and a half times what you made. So
Mhm.
let's say you made $100,000 last year and you want to make 150,000 this year. That would be your better goal potentially. Then your best goal is something that makes you want to throw up. And I say that because something magical happens in your business. You get on a new platform, you do really well, you start selling on Amazon, you add another revenue stream, you have something on social media go viral, and all of a sudden you have new customers. You've found a better supplier and you've saved money and like you are way more profitable. And so let's say it was 100,000, I'll go lower. Let's say you made $50,000 last year. So 50,000 would be your good goal. I would say 100,000 would be your better goal. And best goal could be 150. It could be double what you did or
Mhm.
triple. That's triple. I'm really good at math. Triple what you did. So it's something uncomfortable that pushes it. Does that make
It's like a
sense?
stretch goal,
Mhm.
and, something magical a little bit has to happen for your best goal, but that doesn't mean that something magical is not obtainable by you. You certainly can make magic happen. Amanda Lee said, "My best goal is 150 and I wanna throw up." I went back to this statement. So, Amanda Lee, I'm curious, what did you make in 20? Well, I should have asked if it was okay, but what
You
did you make? Because
you could say it in the chat. We don't have to say it loud out loud.
yeah. I'm curious if that is a big enough goal. You know, because if your best goal is something magical has to happen, what is your better goal and what's your good goal,
Mhm.
right? So
I like
while
this one. Someone on Facebook
mhm,
said, "Good is 28,000, better is 56,000, best is 100,000." And my
yep,
Facebook user who said that, "Does 100,000 make you a little bit queasy? Like, no way, I don't know, but sure, why not?" Let's put that number out there because it does feel uncomfortable, but it sets a target. And
uh-huh,
I'll tell you for sure in our mastermind, when we wrapped last year, everyone majority was between their best and their better and
they're
their
better and
best
they're
goal.
best. Mhm.
Mhm.
A lot of them hit their best too. And Rachel Dunn, who is in Multi-Stream Machine, what was Rachel? I can't remember because we had interviewed her at one point. What was it was to replace your old um
Income?
income, right? Do you remember, Jacqueline?
I don't
Because
remember her
she said
goal,
she
but
almost hit, I almost made my best goal this year. Was it 52,008? I knew it. I knew there was something in the number, like 52,800 is like super specific, right? So she almost hit 52,800 because she was trying to replace something,
so
right?
Rachel's a master multi-stream machine student. Rachel, what did you do in 2020? What was your what was your revenue in 2020 and then that you almost hit your best goal, which was replace okay. So in 2020 you were at 49 and then you improved on that and you almost hit 52.
No,
Amazing.
no, no, no. She
Oh. Oh
made
no, she made 49.
49,500 this year, she's saying, or 2021.
Okay. Okay.
So for 2020, I remember it was something because she was side hustling at the time, or she just started full time in her business or something like that in 2020.
I know. It's
Um,
like I barely work here or remember anything. So Rachel, you
yeah,
you you were you can okay. Let us know what you did in 2020. Did you do anything in
yeah.
2020? Was it like $3,000? Okay, so we've got some other. Someone said good is
Mhm.
24, better 50, best 100. I know a lot of you said you want to be six-figure businesses, so I like that as a best goal. Why not put it out there, right?
Uh-huh.
You haven't failed if you don't hit $100,000 in 2021, but you've set a goal. You've lifted that cap on yourself. Okay, yeah. So that's right. She made $3,000 in 2020. She joined Multi-Stream Machine. In 2021, she ended her year at 49,500.
I
That
mean,
is,
that's way beyond 3xing.
does anyone know the math?
It'd be $9,000, you
No.
know?
No, how many times? What's
Oh,
9,000?
I don't
God,
know.
we're doing math again.
No, no. You get the math. You do your own math.
How many times is 3,000 going to 49,500?
So that's amazing, right? So I love that because it's like she really took the steps forward to do what she needed to do. She committed to it. She set her
With a
target.
handmade business.
Yeah, with a handmade business, and
Mhm.
she worked on her mindset. She invested in herself, and she's super positive about everything, you know? So, I mean, she and then Rachel, your son is
16x, someone said. We're going to go with that
16x.
number.
Thank you. Thank you for doing the math for us. Like I said, do your own math, right? Rachel also does a lot with special needs kids, if I remember correctly, right? So, oh, she's
And
still
she's
working
still
at her
working a
full.
full-time
What?
job.
How do you have time to do anything?
She does because she manages her time, because she gets help where she needs it, right? Like, she invested in herself, she changed her mindset, and she's able to balance home
Yeah,
life, children, special needs, working full time, and doing this thing. And she's doing it. And then she will ease into whatever's next. Does she need to know how she's going to do the next step? No. She had to get here. And then she will figure out what she wants to do. Yeah, with an autistic child. So and
yeah.
then
I
she will
mean,
figure out what she wants to do next. When does she want to leave her job? Does she want to leave her job? Right? Okay, I've made $50,000 last year. Let's just round up and give you the 50. Then what's this year? It's incredible. So
yeah,
be more like Rachel, everyone.
yes.
Like, think about that and all of the challenges she has, that she's able to have a full-time job, an autistic child, and she said Q4 was rough, no
And
sleeping.
16x her goal from 2020 to 2021, right? And
So
so, Rachel, did you set a goal for this year yet? Good, better, best.
and with Rachel, I also wanna ask her is, so by going through Q4 and not sleeping, right? Because, yes, you had to do a lot to get to where you are. Can you now think to yourself, "Okay, next year this time," so 2020 2, what do I not want to do anymore? Right? I want to
Mm,
keep my business going, but maybe if your business has this momentum, you might hire someone to help fulfill, or you might hire someone to help you make that. You see, she's gone from $3,000 in a year to $50,000 in a year. Now she has opportunities to start to expand her business, but it doesn't have
yeah.
to be her still doing it all.
Right. And she could actually, so she said her 2022 goals are $80,000 and up. So $80,000 and up. So before everybody gets overwhelmed here, another way to do good, better, best is to set them the same, but to do it with more ease. So we're talking time instead of money here. So let's say because Rachel had no sleep, she hires the people and she is able to maintain across the board. Let's say she made $50,000 again this year, 2022, but she actually didn't have to work at all. She got to do the creative things. She works full time anyway. She has an autistic child, but she has a team under her, right? So and then her margin is up, right? Now we're talking about margins and things like that, right? So there's extra steps in this that you could do, that we've done with our masterminders. We just did this yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. So really be thinking about, it doesn't mean that you have to keep doing more and more revenue. What we want for you is to get to your idea of success of more freedom, more time, more living the life that you want to live, perhaps more ease, more profit, right? Because that all gets to the same sort of thing, despite what amount of revenue you have.
Yeah, and someone said, "Are we talking profit or sales?" Whenever we talk about revenue, we talk about sales, total
Gross, yeah.
sales.
Gross revenue, yep.
But what we work on in multi-stream machine, when we help you with your costing, is to get a better margin so that you're profitable. We work on that with our masterminders to get a better margin so that you're profitable. Because, you know, you have a $50,000 business, but $50,000 in expenses, it wipes out. And now you've just been busy with no profit. So our goal always for you is to get more profitable. And that's what we set with our goals yesterday for our masterminders. What Mina was saying was, we were like, okay, some of you may be at capacity. Some of you may feel like, okay, revenue is fine. I like this. I like the way my business is going. I don't necessarily need to increase my revenue, but I'd like to increase my profitability. Then we work on, how do you save money? How do you increase your margins? And how do you, raise your
How do you
prices?
streamline things? So I want
Mhm.
to I'm going to get real up in here. I know
Okay, do
it's
it.
felt like I was real this entire time. So Diva Design Studio LLC, I'm talking to you on Instagram. She says, I love that ease portion. I'm afraid of success because I'm afraid I won't sleep or do anything besides work. That's really it. 100%, right? So now that you know that it can be easier and we've opened that up for you, what are you doing to make it easier on yourself? That's the getting real part. What are you doing to make it easier on yourself? Are you just hoping? Are you a student in multi-stream machine that teaches you systems, visibility, and sales? Have you set goals and thought about the people that you're going to hire and what time frame you're going to hire them in? Where does the ease part come in? Because as much as we want ease, we actually have to work for ease.
You also have to let go. So a lot of times we want ease, but you don't let go of the control. You believe nobody else can do what I do. Nobody
Mhm,
else will do what I do, especially makers, especially handmade people. No one else in the world can do it. We have these pottery bowls behind us,
mhm.
multi-million dollar brand, completely handmade, hires 20 different makers in pottery,
Pretending
employs
I know
them,
how to make this bowl.
is profitable, and it is not the owner's own two hands. Does that mean that's your journey? No, but we want to prove to you that this handmade business can't keep these in stock. You cannot buy these, friends. They are sold out. You cannot keep them in stock. So, so when we talk about the ease part of it all, you have to also be willing to let go of some control and allow people to help you,
Yeah. So two
you know?
things. Let go. You have to invest in yourself because as you up level yourself, you'll be hiring other people, but you still have to work on the growth, right? Your mindset, how to do things. Time is money, so that's why I brought up streamlining is that you need working on your systems, but you spending time to figure out things yourself is a lot harder than just investing in something that gets you there, for example, right? Or sometimes people are like, oh, I'll just search it on Google. Well, sifting through Google machine and YouTube University is so much time and overwhelm that not everybody, I mean, it's so hard to do it that way. So really be thinking about, okay, I want ease, but how can I relieve some of that overwhelm and that give myself and buying back my time, you know? And so, you know, um, it- thinking about the ease, increasing the profit, how are you going to do it though? Right? How are you going to streamline? How are
So
you going to
first,
hire? Yeah.
goes back to mindset. We lift that
Hmm.
lid and we start to soften the edges around success and start to soften the edges about the things you don't know, right? You'll figure it
Hmm.
out. The
Yeah.
second is that you invest. You invest in yourself, you invest in your education, you invest in support,
You buy
team,
back your time.
you
That's the
buy back your
idea of
time.
investment.
You can't afford to do this when you increase your revenue, right? It's chicken or the egg, but it goes together. So what I want to tell you all, we have a really exciting beginning of the year coming to all of you. So what's going to happen? What's happening this year is we're doing our free workshop series again starting on January 18th. It's the Product Boss's Guide to Your Best Year Yet, where we're going to help you with time. We're going to help you like take your to-do list to done. We're going to help you figure out how to scale your handmade business. And we are going to help you with this idea of the 80-20 rule for product-based businesses, which means, wait for it, 80% of your revenue can come from 20% of your products. I know, mind blown, right? So that's our best year yet. It starts on January 18th. We will be starting signups somewhere around the 10th, I think. So it's not open yet.
Yeah. Next week. Next week.
Next week. And then,
Is
but if
that
you're
next week?
listening
Whenever.
If you're listening to this on the podcast in the future, it's open. Sign up now.
Yeah.
Then you all will get automatically added to our one of our best challenges that we do. It's our free 5-day challenge that's going to kick off on Valentine's Day, and that is going to be the Bestseller Secrets Challenge. This is a game-changing free challenge. It's 5 days. It's easy to digest. It's easy to implement into your business. And we're going to help you get to your good, better, best goals. We're going to help you find that ease in your business. We're going to help you find success that aligns with your life and lifestyle. So all of this is happening for you between mid-January to mid-February
free.
for free. All of it. We're going to be spending 3, 4, 5 weeks with you, 6 maybe, to
Who
kick off
knows?
this year.
Do your own math.
Lots, obviously, when you're talking to us. And then a lot of you have been DMing us and asking us, when do the doors to Multi-Stream Machine open again? They will be opening that week of Valentine's Day. So if any of you are like, yes, I need this, I want 2022 to look different for my business, I'm ready, you will have the opportunity to join us in February and kick off the class of 2022 with us in Multi-Stream Machine. So we're just so excited about all the things for you. And yeah,
And
we can't wait
if
to
you've
support.
taken all this before, take it again. Even if you're in Multi-Stream Machine, things look different. This actually, it's I know we always talk about like Rock Your Holiday Promotions Challenge because we're known for it. We get a lot of people in fourth quarter. This is the Bestseller Secrets Challenge. This one by far has been the one that has significantly changed people's businesses, because it really helps them understand how to move forward. So I would say take it again over and over. Things change, and we'll see you very soon. And then we're going to start with workshops, which are so fun. We love teaching those.
And as someone in the comments said with clapping emojis, do not sleep on this. It's free. Come to it. Why not? It's free education. And like Rachel said, it changed her business and it's changed thousands of people's businesses. And we do this because we want you all to be successful. We believe in your success and we want you to have businesses that align with a life and lifestyle that you imagine, not what we imagine for you, not what your neighbor imagines, not what your mom imagines, not what anyone else imagines, but what you imagine for success that aligns with your life and lifestyle. So stick with us. You're going to hear about when the signups happen. You'll keep hearing about Diana. And if you're on our email list, go get on our email list so that you can get all the free goodness that we're bringing to you.
Yeah, you can get on our email list at theproductboss.com. There'll be a pop-up that pops up for you to get on our email list. And otherwise we'll be here every single week on Wednesdays I was like, what day is it and where are we? At Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern, not Central, Eastern time.
Yes.
This is as hard as math, let me tell you. It's knowing our schedule.
Eastern on Wednesdays for Bosses and Breakfast. And I'm going to end this with Battle Creek Hardware said 20x my revenue. Are you in Multi-Stream Machine? 20x is amazing.
Yes.
Yes. Huge.
That's crazy.
Lisa said bought MSM last year before the holidays, but was unable to attack it. Ready now. I'm curious because I had an eye-opening in-person show season and people are buying. So really excited. Okay.
It's like you must be, I recognize your name and your photo. Like I know you. So that's odd. I've been stalking you inadvertently. Okay. So also this person, sentiments_stationery_shop. I'm new to you all. Do I need to be making a certain amount for Multi-Stream Machine? No. We have a lot of people that aren't making any money, but they know what they plan to sell, that jump into Multi-Stream Machine because they know they want to sell a physical product and they want to take action.
Okay, this is actually, she just corrected us. So Battle Creek Hardware, who 20x'd her revenue. I was like, are you an MSM? Because she's kind of giving out like, this is what happened. No, 20x'd her revenue from Bestseller Secrets Challenge.
And what's your first name? Is it Tanya?
God.
I'm totally serious.
But I just want to say, okay, a free challenge, and she 20x'd her revenue. 20x'd her revenue. So when I say that, Tina. So good, Minna.
So
Tina rhymes with Minna.
I don't understand why you're not in there. That's because I was like, what? I recognize your face.
But think of that though, right? Like think about the fact, like, and if she invested into an actual product that we sold, like if she invested into a course like Multi-Stream Machine, if she could 20x off of a free challenge, imagine. Right. Yeah. So we're really excited to do this. Tina, thank you for sharing that. Tina rhymes with Minna. We will remember that.
Yes, we will remember. Oh, I
And
love it. Now look at you with your mnemonic devices.
it's
I really
2022.
train I really trained Jacqueline's brain to think in this way. Ninny rhymes with mini, so
Hanukkah sounds like Hanukkah.
yeah.
All right, my friends. Thank you for being here with us. And we're so glad to be back with all of you. Yes, when you come to the challenge on the workshops, there are limited time replays during the time that these things are open. So even if you work full time, sign up for it. You'll get it. They're easy and digestible. All of it. We want to make it easy, but big movements in your business because you deserve this all and you deserve success. So please walk away today with softening those edges around success. Start to take the fear away, get a little bit more neutral to it and be like, well, what if? Question it like a child questions, when they play with something and they look at something and they're like, well, what if this were to work?
Yeah,
Right. And then move on, step
I love
forward,
it.
go through it. All right.
All right. Thanks,
Thanks, friends.
everybody.